This is eCommerce Uncensored. Brought to you by Fast Forward Unlimited. We're coming to you fully loaded and exposed with all the strategies and techniques for growing your e-commerce business.
Hey everyone, and thanks for joining us on another episode of eCommerce Uncensored. This is episode number 117. My name is Kevin Manel, and I'm here with
Jason Caruso
and Albert.
Albert is finally on.
He's so excited.
The podcast.
Paul wasn't here today, and he's setting up the, he's setting up the podcast, and he yelled, "So is it just going to be the two of you guys today?"
Right.
He's like a little kid, be like, Albert.
You might want to come on. Before we get started, I just want to talk about a little incident that just happened before we came on the air.
Okay.
So Kevin, we got a bad review from some knucklehead, of course.
Doesn't know how to spell.
These idiots that they leave reviews and they have like an education of like a second grader. Like he's like, the intro's too long, T-O, long. Like, dude, obviously. And Kevin gets so offended.
He's a jabroni. I don't get offended.
You get offended. If we lose a client, dude, you are sad for a week.
I'm not sad.
No, you're sad.
No,
you're sad.
It goes back to the whole we don't necessarily have reviews flooding in all the time. So when we get a bad one, I don't like it, and it negatively affects us.
We do have 4.5 stars.
We have a good amount of stars, but it's not like...
And people do leave. There are a lot of good reviews.
Look,
so.
The way I look at this podcast is we're trying to help people. And who gives a shit what some idiot says? I could care less.
Yeah, I don't care what he says. And you know what? It's just the same thing when we talk about with your email lists. When these people go away, it's like, okay, we don't want to talk to you anyway. Like the way we come across and how we talk on our podcast is more on a personal level. We just talk about real life shit.
Look, man. Look. Let's forget about the reviews. Let's put that review aside. Our downloads are doubling, literally, right in front of our eyes. So
I'm a sensitive guy. What do you want from me?
Yeah, I know. It should have been a woman. Sorry, ladies.
That is not very nice.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, you're taking it a little bit too personally. And look, we do this for free. You don't have to listen. Yeah, who cares? So anyway,
it's just funny that people do that.
Right?
Really? You have nothing better to do.
Right. Okay. Couple announcements. First one is, of course, our favorite email marketing relationship building platform, and that is Klaviyo. Kevin just went through a complete walkthrough with one of our clients. If you go to ecommerceuncensored.com/email, it will redirect you to their landing page, and you can get import up to 250 subscribers for free.
Yeah, and this client who is kind of disconnected a little bit when it comes to this kind of thing, and when he saw the things that were going on that we have going inside Klaviyo, he was
pretty impressed.
Oh wow, look at that!
Yeah, he had no idea.
Oh,
yeah, and it works. It's a great platform, and we encourage everybody to try it out.
And that Facebook integration is really cool too. I know I talked about it before, but the fact that you can create Facebook audiences, and I know a lot of our listeners are using Facebook ads and things like that alongside of Klaviyo. So the fact that you can create custom audiences in there from your Klaviyo lists and segments is, I think, really cool.
Yeah. Another thing that we're doing, we have been over the last few weeks talking about this course that we created. And we've decided for a couple reasons. Number one, we've decided that instead of giving or offering a big, huge, mammoth of a course, what we're going to do instead is break it down into different sections, because we're getting a lot of emails from people that are saying hey, I really want to join the course, but I'm only interested in the email section, or hey, I really want to join the course, but I really only need the Facebook section. And we're getting those emails enough to kind of, we're kind of listening, and it makes sense that everybody's at different stages in their business. And so we've decided to break the course up into different sections and sell it for a little bit cheaper. So if you go to ecommerceuncensored.com/learn, you'll see the new landing page. We have some new banners up there. You can see exactly what we mean. Before, we had a page there that literally just had everything for $500. Now we've kind of just rearranged it a little bit, so they're just smaller courses, and they're a lot more quote unquote affordable. And I think it's going to fit our audience a little bit, you guys a little bit better, because kind of everybody's all over the place, and these emails have really got us thinking. Not, on top of that, just to be completely transparent, recording a big giant course like that too is very, very difficult. And I just bought a course for $1,000 from someone, and I felt like I've gotten my $1,000 worth. Every time he uploads a new video, I'm like, I already watched 5 hours, and I got my money's worth. So we're gonna just break it up, and you can kind of decide.
Yeah, I think there's a couple things. It's like our audience, and it's interesting to see it, is we have entrepreneurs, right? Just starting out. We have entrepreneurs that are like trying to figure it out, and they're kind of in the middle of their journey. And then we have people who are kind of like they've seen some success, they've seen some sales, and they're at that point. We also have some agencies or some marketing people that are listening to us. So I think this will be better suited, like you said. And for an entrepreneur like yourself, Jason, like I think a big, huge course is an undertaking. It's a lot to get
I have a
involved
family.
with.
It's overwhelming. So I think this is going to be a much, much better thing for everyone. eCommerceUncensored.com/learn. You could see exactly what we've done.
And we gave the Klaviyo link
did.
out, right?
Yes, we
Okay,
did.
Good.
And then one more link, eCommerceUncensored.com/Facebook, and you can join our group. Now,
Maybe this rambling is what that guy was talking about.
well, look, if you listen to the show and you're somebody who listens every week, we're keeping you up to date.
Yeah.
I mean, look, if you're just a passerby, we'd love to have you, but
There's also a fast forward button. If you're
yeah,
really
there's
mad.
fast. You're right. You're right. You can fast forward, and so anyway. So what we're going to talk to today is about a conversation that Kevin had with one of our clients. The same conversation about Klaviyo, and that is, marketing on these various channels like Google and Facebook and Twitter, I guess, and Instagram, and kind of like how they all work together, and how you should use them.
We've kind of talked about it before, this whole multi-touch point marketing concept. I don't know, a long time ago we talked about it, but like this conversation I had with the client kind of brought it to the forefront for me and just made me want to talk about it again, because like and sometimes here at our agency, we kind of work in a bubble a little bit, and sometimes our clients don't know exactly what's going on. So when you show it to them and you explain it to them and you get the kind of reaction that they get from it, it kind of reiterates how important it is.
Well, I wouldn't say some of our clients don't know what we're doing. I mean, I would say most of them.
Yeah.
And it's a weird... Ooh, got the hiccups. It's a weird thing because when they don't hear from us, it means we're doing a lot, but they don't think that we are. But when they don't hear from us, or when they do hear from us, it's less time to actually work on the account, and we're actually not working as much because we're on the phone with them all the time. Yeah. It's a weird thing.
There's a lot of cases, too, where we talk to them, and I know this is a little off topic, but we talk to them, they don't really listen. Like, we talked to you about this. You should understand it, but today I got the opportunity to kind of really take someone who was completely didn't know anything that we were doing and kind of explain it to them.
Yeah, and we've been working with him for like 3 years.
Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting. So why don't you talk to us
we
a
always
little bit
talk about like how most people are not going to buy at first glance. Like you're going to get like a 1 to 2% conversion rate on just traffic going to your website. And especially on Facebook when you're driving traffic.
Well, cold traffic.
Cold traffic, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have a history, you don't have a brand yet, I mean, we're dealing with this now with a lot of our clients. Like they're expecting cold traffic to convert, at like crazy percentages.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, I know me. We had this conversation the other day. It's like, I have to see the thing that you're selling me multiple times.
Well, wasn't the number like you have to get in front of the person at least like 16 times at least before?
Well, it changes, right? Like I think number one, it depends on the niche. But I think like as this whole idea of selling on social media continues to kind of mature, I think it's going to get worse. It's going to get longer and longer, and the competition. I mean,
With
They're just flooded with information nowadays. So
with the amount of opportunities you have to buy products when you're on social media, and the distractions that you have when you're on social media, it's just going to increase like the amount of times you have to show yourself to somebody.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before, like measuring which platform is actually doing the heavy lifting or actually, doing, working. It's really difficult now because if someone finds you on Google and then you retarget them on Facebook and then you retarget them on Instagram and then they buy from Instagram, that's just like the last place they saw you. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's, they're responsible for the sale.
It's an entire process.
It's an entire process, which I would say like not too long ago, like even a year ago, it was like, okay, what did Facebook do? Okay, what did Google do? Okay, what did Instagram do? It's just not like, what did email do? It's just not like that anymore. Now it's like everything is so interconnected that like maybe somebody opened up an email, went to your website, got retargeted by Facebook, then was retargeted again on Google. Who gets the credit?
Well, this came up because I was showing him some reporting data that for our, the last 30 days of our Google ads, and he saw the ads. He was like, okay, where are we sending traffic to this Google ad? And I said, well, we're sending them this traffic to the product page. He's like, well, is there an offer? I was like, no, there's not an offer on this initial intentful Google ad that we're sending people to the product page. But you got to understand.
Is intentful a word?
Intentful? Yeah. Someone's typing in a word and they're actually looking for the product that you're selling. Intended search?
Yeah, I've never heard of it. Bree? Have you ever heard of the word intentful?
What is happening next door? Like, do you hear? I keep feeling like the door is opening and closing. Do you hear that?
Is intentful a word?
It's not coming up.
Okay. It is now a word.
I'm just curious.
Okay.
Trademark.
Add it to your...
You make fun of me when I misspell something, so now...
Intently. Someone searching for a certain product finds you or finds them on Google. They go to their product page, and he was wondering what happened. Like, do they get an offer? Is there an offer on the page when they go there? I said, no, not in this instance. There's not an offer given to them in the ad or on the landing page. I was like, but you have to understand that once they land on this product page, they're then incorporated into the massive funnel that we have going in the back end.
Right, they're brought into the ecosystem, I guess you would say, and then we just start, retargeting the hell out of them.
Right. They see the retargeting on Facebook. Then you can do the same thing on Google Ads. You could show them display ads all over the internet. There's so many different levels. You could do them on YouTube. And then your goal at that point is once you have that retargeting, and we tell this to our clients a lot, they'll see the retargeting ad working. And they're like, well, let's spend more money on the retargeting ad. Doesn't it make more sense? We're getting a 4 or 5 return.
This really burns your ass
because
you bring this up all the time.
Do I bring it up on the podcast or just?
I don't know, but it really burns your ass that people are like, can we spend more money on the retargeting?
Because it's hard. It's a hard concept to understand because when you look at it from that standpoint, you're like, it's making this much money. Let's just spend more money on that ad. But you have to understand the whole process that's happening. Because the only way to scale that ad is to drive more traffic to the original top end of the funnel. Does that make sense to you, Albert?
Yeah, exactly. It drips down the entire system, and you can't just...
Because some people have such tunnel vision when it comes to this stuff that they don't take a second to think about the process.
Yeah, and it's a good point because, a retarget ad can only work when you're driving traffic in other stages of the funnel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like... A retarget ad, by the very nature of it, is only being showed to people who have already been to the website or whatever the action is. So they've already seen you once. So actually, the answer to that question is like, no, we have to spend more money on the
other things.
The other things.
Let's do more emails.
Right.
Let's send traffic to a product page through an email because then that's the same thing as the Google ad. You send traffic to a product page, then that person is now gobbled up in this funnel that then shows them an email, shows them an ad on Facebook, on Instagram, on the Google Display Network, all those different places.
Yeah, so the answer is no, we can't spend more money on the retarget. The answer is we have to spend more money driving traffic to the website. And it's I don't even know that we, as an agency, really follow our own
absolutely.
rules
Oh, absolutely.
because we get pushed into doing things that we know we shouldn't, or we know. One of our clients, we were having some really good success. We were having success with them on Facebook ads, and then we were kind of like they were kind of rushing us a little bit, and so we changed around everything, and now we kind of wore out what was working,
Right.
and it's no longer working. So I think, in that scenario, we just have to learn that when something's working, we don't really have to know why everything is working. We just have to trust that it is.
And all these things work together. So not just because you have a Facebook ad that's getting landing page views that doesn't have conversions. If you have that other ad that's going for conversions and you're getting conversions on it, that doesn't mean the other ad is not affecting those numbers.
And that's a good point. That's almost like what we were just saying.
Codependency.
Yeah, like, one is kind of just supporting the other, and that's how you have to look at your marketing when you're looking at, number one, content creation. When you're looking at trying to sell the product, is people on Facebook are there for different reasons than people are on Instagram, and people on Instagram are on different reasons than people on YouTube, and you got to learn how to use those different platforms to kind of support each other. And people on one of those platforms may not be prone to buy as much than on the other platforms, but it doesn't mean that them seeing you, say, on YouTube or on Instagram isn't as important as whatever platform they're converting on.
And Facebook may be, retargeting without you even knowing. It could be showing your two different ads to the same person without you actually having a retargeting ad on.
Yeah.
That one person is contained in the same audience.
Yeah, and I mean, using different types of media as well, using video, using text, using content, whether it's a blog or whether it's, and then using each of these platforms to just get in front of the client is really how, at the end of the day, you're going to be successful, because the more these people see you, the better chance. We had this conversation with everybody the other day. Like, when you first see a brand that you don't know, there is no way you're going to buy from them.
Mm-hmm.
It's impossible. Impossible, but it's improbable. But then you start seeing that same brand when you go on Instagram, and then just by default, by telepathy or by whatever, you just get more comfortable with the brand. And, when we're dealing with clients, it's a very short-sighted view on this, but you got to really, Gary Vee says this all the time, you got to play the long game, They
got to familiarize themselves with just.
Yeah, and the more you see, the brand, the more you trust them. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, it's the basic concept of a sales funnel. I mean, even when I'm on I'm on Instagram sometimes, and I'll see a story for a product that's really cool that I would really buy, but like I'm in the middle of something, and then once I'm gone. Like, it's forgotten. It's that quick.
Until you go on Facebook, and then they retarget you on Facebook, and then you go on YouTube, and then you see a video on YouTube, and then at some point, one of those platforms are going to catch you at the right time. I just think it's hard for people who are spending money and clients who are spending money to really be patient with that. And Russell Brunson talks about this all the time. Like, the point of your marketing is not to be profitable on the front end. It's to acquire customers for as cheap as possible and then sell them stuff on the back end. And that's kind of where I think the mentality of people is like, they think like they're going to spend $1 and get back, $20. Yeah, there might be some cases you have some like obscure product that no one else has that you've made up, or it's for a very, very small niche. Yeah, like, fine. Like, I need a specific product problem solved, maybe. For the majority of you guys listening, it's not going to just happen the first time.
Yeah, and the scalability of it. If you just have one ad that's going out to people that's trying to sell a little widget or something, like, eventually you're going to reach the end of that audience.
And we just went through that.
Yeah,
we spoke about it last.
If you're creating a funnel like this, it's just a matter of doing whatever you can to get more people in the top of that funnel.
Yeah, and you can be patient. Like you can be patient without spending a lot of money on this as well.
Mhm.
I mean, it's we talk about $5 campaigns, and just take your time with it. But I would certainly think about how you can use the power of these platforms working together, for your business.
Yeah, totally. Is that it?
That's it.
Cool. So again, remember, sign up-
eCommerceUncensored.com/email.
Yeah, sign up for Klaviyo. Get that. Start with that free account, or if you have a lot of subscribers, get over there. If you have a lot of traffic to your website, get over there and switch over. You'll start making money right away.
Yeah, and check out our course, eCommerceUncensored.com/learn. What else you got, Albert?
Check out our videos on our Facebook
wow.
and YouTube
Yeah.
channel.
That's so exciting. Usually he's behind the camera. At this point, he's like, I see him in the other side of the camera, just pointing at the camera.
Yeah.
Now you get to say it.
Yep. We put some good work into it, and we have some funny facial expressions. So
Yeah.
And hey, if you've been listening to us for a long time, if you like what you hear,
Oh, Jesus. This guy.
go to iTunes and write a review.
and
Not
we'll
everybody's
send you a
listen-
free shirt.
And it'll
We'll
make
send
me
you a free
it'll make
shirt.
me happy.
And
If for anything else, it'll make me happy.
Yeah, no one else. Not everybody's listening to us on iTunes, but that's besides the point.
iTunes, Stitcher,
But it
I don't
doesn't-
care. Wherever
yeah.
you're listening to, write a review.
And let us know. Send us a message on Facebook or Instagram, and I personally will send you a free shirt.
Cool. And join our Facebook group, eCommerceUncensored.com/Facebook. Thank you guys so much for listening. This has been episode 117. As always, you could check us out at eCommerceUncensored.com. We'll talk to you guys real soon.
Later.
See ya.